So that's going there, is it?
It is. Say hi. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
I'm Michelle Frager, and this is Dr. Doug, and he is the ultimate turmeric researcher and legend of the Turmeric Users Group.
Don't get carried away.
Oh, I can be nice to you. You're not going to talk yourself up, so I'll do it for you. And he's also the owner of Turmeric Life, which is a turmeric product company as well. So today we're basically going to go through just a bit of a high level on why use turmeric, how it can benefit you in your life, not only as humans, but as our animals as well. And there's a lot of like technical sides of turmeric, and I'm literally the dummy on all this. I'm literally the lead person, and we're going to get Doug to explain it all to us in the more technical terms so that we can understand how to apply it to our home life and then also use it in our animals and our home personal life. So Doug, why would we use turmeric over other products for anti-inflammatory and all the other wonderful benefits that it can apply to us?
Turmeric's a natural anti-inflammatory plant that's been used for 3,000 or 4,000 years very successfully, so we've got a long history of it. It's not bad, there's nothing bad about it. It's not a drug, it's a whole food. It needs to be cooked and incorporated into your general food processes. What's going on?
Keep talking.
We're not used to this sort of TV stuff, so we're amateurs, so basically we'll have to wing it a little bit. But getting back to...
I'm Michelle Frager, and this is... Put it on.
Getting back to turmeric, it needs to be incorporated in cooking. People want to use it in juices. It's a waste of time because it's not metabolized, not absorbed. It'll go straight through you. And we're talking about the active polyphenols, which are unique to turmeric, and that's what you want. There's plenty of other foods, all your water-soluble vitamins, B and C, etc., carbohydrates that you can absorb in a smoothie or a drink, but that's not what you want out of turmeric. You want to absorb the curcuminoid polyphenols, and that must be cooked and incorporated into a food.
So I'm normally the person that would be like, let's just take a tablet because it's easy. So I literally need to have the cooked version.
I hate tablets. Most people who take tablets waste it. Any tablets, even your vitamin tablets, just go straight through you. You need to have whole foods, and you need to have good quality whole foods. And if you're going to have turmeric, you need to put it in your foods. Cook with it, make golden paste, put golden paste in scrambled egg, mashed potato, pumpkin, cabbage, all your vegetables. Just use it all the time. Put it in anything you feel like. It goes well. I don't think it's got a bad taste at all. I've got a pretty good acquired taste. And that's what a taste is. It's acquired, and you need to taste things and get used to it. It hasn't got a strong taste. It has by itself, and I don't know why anybody would want to take it by itself. I don't particularly like it by itself. Put in mashed potato, mashed pumpkin, scrambled egg, it's beautiful.
Nice. Well, I'm not a cook at all, so I literally use the to-go beer bites to get my turmeric into my day. And my turmeric latte.
Everybody used to say on the webpage how hard it was. They didn't like it. They couldn't transport it and that. So that's why I concocted those beer bites, to make a whole food that's absorbed, and that's what they are. You've got linseed, chia, based on dates, to be absorbed. And if you want to be lazy, well, then you can have a to-go bar. And I actually live on them myself because they're so easy and convenient. But anyway,
I love them.
They're a food, not a tablet, and tablets don't work.
I think it's this understanding of nutrition, and a lot of people are struggling with, learning everything because everybody's got so many different opposing views. And how do we kind of cut through all the miscommunication that's going on? That's why I think it's so important that we kind of have nights like tonight, where people can understanding of literally go throw every tablet out in your cupboard, and let's somehow figure out how to get the real and whole foods back into our diet.
Tablets work okay if you have them with food, I guess, but it's easier to incorporate it in the food, and it's a hell of a lot cheaper to incorporate it in the food. And a lot of tablets don't work because they're too high in concentration. People taking huge amounts of curcumin. I don't think the curcumin is metabolized sufficiently in huge amounts. I put a little bit into the to-go bars, not too much, and the anecdotal evidence there is it works fairly well without any difficulty or problems.
If you've got a recipe that you've used turmeric in previously and you'd love it and you want to share that out with us, just pop in a link into the bottom section here, and so we can kind of share it out and help everybody get share, more turmeric into their day. Any tips and tricks you've got along the way, let us know as well, because the more we share, the more we all learn. Sarah Jane's just joined in. I can see there. Sarah is an amazing cook, and I'm sure she's going to put some amazing little recipes in there for us. So keep an eye out for her in the stream. So if anybody's got any questions that they want to ask Doug, you can put them through. If you want to go for maybe 2 minutes on something, I've got the questions here that I'll look them up for you. That people put in for us earlier.
Talk about what you want me to talk more.
You can talk lots about turmeric. You love it.
Yeah, but I've got to have questions. It's a bit hard talking into a bloody screen and you can't see what's going on.
This is live and real, people.
Introduce Buzzy.
Yes, show them Buzzy.
Yeah, as everybody knows, it's multifactorial effects: arthritis, skin problems, sunburn, anti-cancers, particularly for equine sarcoids and melanomas in humans. It's brilliant for energy levels, stabilising your blood glucose, stopping the snacking habits that people have and increasing your metabolism so you're more active and lose weight. It's good for your hair growth, it's good for your skin, good for your aging processes. It's just a marvellous compound that's useful in many, many ways. Even some surprising things happened, as you know, on the webpage with the chickens laying eggs and then using it in bitches that couldn't have decent litters, and then on to humans on IVF programs, and we've had several babies associated with it. And some have been accidental and a big surprise. But anyway, that's what happens.
But also, I think I got Doug, about a year ago now. Doug got me onto the bars, and I was trying them out because I've been working with him and doing other things. And in honesty, I thought it's probably not going to work for me, and I'll give it a try. But I honestly never felt so good. The bars are amazing, and my, I guess, female girl bits have probably never been as regular as they ever had. And I think going into that 40s and older age, I think a lot of us women are looking for something natural that can actually help us with that process. And I think that these bars are definitely doing that for me. So it's fantastic.
The big thing about the turmeric intake on a daily level is that your blood glucose is stabilised. You don't overeat. You don't want to snack. You're energised and you can go right through the day, and that means that you use up your fat and lose weight. Also increase muscle mass. It's good. Athletes use it. I've got runners who love it. They train on it, and pull up really well and run good times.
I like the idea that something like turmeric can literally not only help me with my athletic performance, but it can also help me with my weight loss. Because so many women, especially, are struggling with this. And we go and try all these stupid tablets constantly, and something so simple as a bit of turmeric.
Well, the big problem with women and weight loss is they exercise, they burn out 500 calories, and then they have a fruit drink or something like that, and that's 600 calories. So there's really no calorie deficit, and they can't lose weight. And women talk to me about that all the time. They say, I'm working hard, I'm running hard, and I can't lose weight. It's calories in, calories out. So if you exercise, you should drink wine.
Yes, those wines are getting us every time. Righto, so we've got a question here from Mary. Mary says, my friend is borrowing some of my turmeric dog bites. My dog takes a quarter twice a day. What would be the suggestion for a 30-pound 11-year-old?
Depends how much you want. You're going to get an effect with a quarter or a tenth, but if you've got a serious issue with arthritis, a dog like that could have one or a half, but you don't have to do a consistent dose. You could feed one in the morning when they're going to be active all during the day, and then give half of one at night, a lesser dose. Or you can split it into halves and give 3, 1.5 a day with a split between the two. But most dogs like them, which is a good thing because there's a fair bit of turmeric in them, which is a fairly strong taste.
So a lot of, you've been doing this for a long time and have a lot of research and proof on this topic, but do you find that there's a difference between the use of turmeric on animals versus humans, or is it literally just amazing across the board?
They're all mammals, all the same. We've even had differences in crocodiles, can you believe that?
Very cool.
With growth rates and skin density and skin health.
So it's purely just because it's the anti-inflammatory and it's
Well,
working.
no, it's anti-inflammatory. That's only one aspect. It affects about 30 or 40 different enzyme processes. If you look at aspirin, aspirin is just a straight anti-inflammatory. It affects the prostaglandins, inflammatory mediators in the body, and that's it. Turmeric has a positive effect on them as well, but you've got all the other metabolic processes, 30 or 40 of them. So it's really operates over a wide area of the general metabolism, which is why it's so good.
What's your most remarkable story that you've seen from turmeric use on an animal or human?
Well, I was blown away by the 15-year-old chickens that started to lay eggs.
Wow.
And that was a big surprise, and it opened up an aspect of its use that I never even thought about. And that came out of anecdotes off the Turmeric User Group site. And a couple of human pregnancies that surprised people too. That was a little bit funny.
Perimenopausal ladies that are getting pregnant, they're all blaming you and asking you for child support.
Yeah. That sort of stuff happens. I don't want to mention any names, but they know who I'm talking about.
Congratulations is all I have to say. So the next question we've got is, how much turmeric can I give my 7-pound cat that has a mass?
It's pretty hard to get a cat with a cancer to eat something with turmeric in it because it's a plant-based thing. And if you could get a half a teaspoon into it with bone broth or something that the cat really likes, you can mix it in stuff like cream because it's fat soluble. It's getting it into the cat that's the problem. What you could do, I suppose, is mix it in cream and syringe it. That wouldn't be so bad because it combines quite tastily with cream. And it depends what the mass is. It's most likely to be a lymph tissue, lymphoma. That's the common mass that cats get. And it could be beneficial. There's some new stuff come about combining with fenbendazole, which is a wormer. It's just recently hit the news, and there's a lot of data. I've been looking at it, and I was a bit skeptical about it, but there's a lot of data emerging now, and both of them have an effect on the apoptosis of the cells that wipe out cancers, and we don't know yet if it's synergistic or just an additive effect, but both curcumin in turmeric and fenbendazole increase the apoptosis of cancer cells, which is the body cells eating up the cancer.
Very cool.
What else is that?
Well, I'm just looking at the questions here. So Susie's just asking where she needs this for her bulging disc, where should she buy it? If anybody's interested in any of Dr. Doug's turmeric products, we don't like to sell in this group, but we will obviously tell you about them. So if you go to the top right-hand corner of the Turmeric Users Group page, it says Buy Turmeric Life. And if you just click on that and underneath that's shop, and it'll take you straight to Doug's page where he's got, these are the Turmeric Life, the beer bites. These are the ones I have. I literally cut it into about 8 pieces, and I have 1 or 2, maybe 3 a day. I usually use them as a snack instead of, I found it's really great for curbing my appetite. Instead of going and grabbing just something stupid out of the cupboard when I was peckish or nuts or whatever, I literally just go grab a piece of that now.
Yeah, well, we named the beer bites the wrong name. They're actually a liver support bite, and we called them beer bites because I thought it would be good for the people that drink beer and wine and alcohol and that, because it increases the metabolic rate of the elimination of alcohol by the liver 2 or 3 times normal. And we found in a couple of trials where people should have been more than 0.5, which is the limit for driving here in Queensland, and they were actually half that, whereas they should have really been about 0.7. If you have 4 or 5 standard drinks, you should be about 0.6, 0.7, and a lot of these were 0.3, 0.4, which was very, very good actually. It was quite surprising, a couple of trials I did. I have my own breathalyzer and I test it on myself all the time, and
I knew that.
it works. It works. But the real thing is the beer bites are a good general metabolic stimulant for overall things. There's no beer in them, but people think they're beer flavoured. They're not.
That'll help with the beer drinking.
And basically the flavour acceptance of the beer bites is better of all three bars. It's the best.
Oh, it's my favourite by far.
Yeah.
I found I've run out over Christmas, and again, not thinking that it had that much of an impact upon me in my my recovery process, and I was in pain for about 3 or 4 days until I got home and could get some more bars into me. So it just keeps shocking me about these things that you just think are so simple.
Yep, it works.
Yeah, it really does.
Let's get on to the questions now because we're not going to get through them all, are we?
No, it's all good. A lot of wonderful people are saying that they use the to-go bars. So it's a question here. What's the difference between yellow and orange turmeric?
Well, orange turmeric is curcuma longa with weapon,
Let's keep talking.
which is the main one that is high in polyphenols. The yellow turmeric is generally curcumin. I was going to say anthorizer, but it's not. It's a different species of turmeric, and it is bitter. It's the tamilate turmeric, and it doesn't have very much curcumin in it.
So Yvonne's just said that she started taking it in 2011 at a yoga retreat and has never looked back.
Curcuma aromatica is the yellow one. And it's the one that has a flower. Curcuma longa generally doesn't flower. If you've got flower in turmeric, it's the wrong type.
So a lot of people here are talking about the golden paste and how it's changed their life. How do you find the different quality of the products that you can find out there? Because obviously you gave the turmeric paste recipe out there for everybody free because you wanted to help so many people. Over the years, have you seen the quality of the turmeric get worse or dulled down, or how do we pick the right turmeric for us to make in this mix?
Turmeric varies quite a bit depending where you get it from. The yellow turmeric, Curcuma aromatica, is fairly common. It's also very bitter. The curcuma longa, it's becoming more available, and generally speaking, most of the turmeric I've seen lately in the shops has been the right one, but pretty commonly I do see the yellow one, and I think that's why a lot of people think it's bitter and not tasting good because they've got the wrong turmeric.
So just anybody that's watching this, pop a message down if you find that you've tried the golden paste or you want to have a right product. That's something that we've been talking about, is whether we should make a pack that's literally the golden paste mix, so you can just literally cook it and we can make sure that Doug's getting the best quality product for you. We've not done that previously. If that's something that's of interest to you, just pop a comment down there and we'll work on demand, and if people want it, we'll go create it. Question from Nat Miller. Can I overdose a horse with hoof abscesses? 21 years old, rescue.
That horse, look at its problem with its glucose in its blood. It shouldn't be foundry. No, you can't overdose it. No, I've given a cupful of turmeric powder to horses. If it's getting abscesses all the time, it could be a problem with its blood glucose metabolism with the pituitary gland, and you need to have a look and see what's going on with that.
And would you give it a cup a day, or would you space it every few days?
I've seen good results with a heap tablespoon. I think that's about as much as you need to give. It gets expensive if you give cupfuls a day with the powder, and whether you get the advantage out of it. I'd love to do some trials to see how much absorption you get and how much it varies. And when we get a little bit of money, I've lined up to do some absorption trials in horses and in dogs and in humans. Very keen to do that.
Stay posted. Yep, Nat Miller's also said she loves the bars, so do the dogs and the goats.
Yeah, well, it's
Any animals that don't like them particularly?
It's Nat's little dog that's pictures on the back of our bag, actually.
Ah, there you go. I don't know. Oh, here we go. Oh, it's not on that version.
It's on the other one.
Yeah.
Suzanne Lee's got a question.
Oh, what? Where is he? I haven't got anything.
She's about to make turmeric paste.
Oh, at the top. About to make my first golden paste and wanting to know if I'm able to use organic extra virgin oil for the paste, please.
Works with any oil. You don't have to go to great lengths. Whatever oil you want, it's oil soluble. That's the reason that you have to put an oil in it. It has to be a vegetable oil that you digest. You certainly don't want to use a mineral oil, which is indigestible, because it will dissolve in a mineral oil too, but that'll go straight through you. You need to use a digestible vegetable oil, and any of them work fairly well. There's no evidence that we have that says one is better than another for absorbing it, and I'd like to look at that too down the track to see if there is any difference. I don't think there will be that much difference. There may be a difference.
So Denise is asking, can I add sugar to the paste?
Don't talk about sugar to me. I get cranky. Nobody should eat sugar. It's no good. It's an addiction to taste. Doesn't benefit anything, and it's very, very pro-inflammatory. And I think sugar's behind major health problems in the world today.
I agree with that one there. So Tart is asking, can I use turmeric to mix with coffee or milk with my kids? Good. I'll even agree to that one.
That's good. Put it in coffee. A lot of people have it in coffee. And coffee is actually quite a good product too. It's actually the second most widely traded commodity in the world below fuel, and it's been traded for decades and decades and decades, and there's really no negative stuff associated with it at all. And coffee is actually good. There's quite a lot of data supporting that.
So there's a few questions on here asking about the dog bites. So if anybody hasn't seen them, Dr. Doug, at the end of last year?
Yeah, we've only had them about 2.5 months.
Yep, the dog bites.
And basically I mucked about formulating them for a year or two to make them palatable, because there's quite a lot of turmeric in them. And I wasn't going to put them out if only half the dogs ate them. So we've got about 90 to 95% acceptance now, and I don't think we're going to get much better than that. So that's pretty good.
So Rachel's asking, she's got a 5-kilo dog on Millalone for itchy skin, a quarter tablet a day. Can she give the dog the bites to the dog? And if so, how much?
Yeah, a little dog like that should have probably a fifth of a bite. You can give as much as you want. There's no real issue. It's just a matter of the cost of it, I suppose.
Yeah.
A fifth would be pretty effective, and you can give it with Neurotonin and all those non-steroidal anti-inflammatories. You can give it with gabapentin. That's fine.
So you've spent a lot of your career trying to get animals off drugs and onto natural remedies, especially that's how you got into the turmeric side of things. Is there any particular drug that you find that you can get your animals off with the use of turmeric?
Well, you can minimise the use of the non-steroidal anti-inflammatories. It's basically, I use drugs. I've got no real problem if you need them. I inject or I prescribe tablets and everything like that. But I think a lot of people overuse it. The thing is that these dogs at 12 and 13, people consider it normal for them to get arthritis. And I can't understand why that happens. It's probably because they're overweight and their joints wear out, and unbalanced diets, lack of calcium. A lot of people with meat diets, I think pasta and grain is one of the worst things. It's high phosphorus, high phytic acid. It locks calcium out of the diet, and low calcium. And also the other factor is all the dogs these days are desexed, so they're postmenopausal, so bone density is a big issue. And that's why we get all these arthritic dogs. I'm not saying don't desex them. What I'm saying is if you do desex them, it's very, very important that you have a balanced diet with enough calcium. You've got to remember that your grains and meats are high phosphorus, and grains have the added problem of phytic acid, which locks any available calcium that might be there out of the system. So they need to be balanced. And that's why a lot of the commercial diets are pretty popular, because they are balanced. It's easy to balance if you know how. And all your commercial dog diets are balanced calcium to phosphorus.
So we've got a special guest here tonight. I'd like to introduce Buzzy. He's the Turmeric Bites for the Dogs brand ambassadher, because he's literally obsessed with the beer bite.
Sarah talk, Buzzy, the smile. Get up, Buzzy.
There you go. Say hi, everybody.
There you go.
Smile.
Oh, there. Oh, there. He does it.
Oh, good boy, Buzzy. Say bye, everybody. Oh, there you go.
I'm doing another one. That's the best smile.
Oh, there you go.
Come on, Buzzy, smile. How about
If
that?
anybody else has got an animal like Buzzy that can do the smell for the dog bites, throw a photo in the comments area. We'd love to see them. He literally follows us around the house for turmeric. So I've got some more questions. Is it true that turmeric can trigger kidney and gallstones if you have a history of stones? If yes, is that only if you take certain doses?
No, turmeric is high in oxalates. You don't have very much of it, and most of your gallstones, kidney stones are not that common. You're talking bladder stones. Most of your bladder stones are struvites. You do get oxalate bladder stones, but oxalates are in a lot of vegetables anyway, so the amount that you're going to get in your turmeric is minimal. As far as your gallstones go, when you eat turmeric, it increases the contraction of the gallbladder, which creates pain. It doesn't cause the stones. And in actual fact, there's some scientific data that actually says that taking turmeric diminishes the gallstones that are there. But if you do get the contraction of the gallbladder, you're going to get pain, and the stones are already there anyway, not because of the turmeric.
So we've got three questions in a row just asking if you can add the raw honey to the golden paste.
That's sugar.
And somebody's just said, I've just made a batch and just listened to this. Should I throw them out? Would you throw them out?
Throw them out.
So they've made a batch of the turmeric paste, and they put honey in it. So should they throw it out?
Well, why would you put honey in it? It's going to ferment it anyway. It's not going to keep if you put honey in it. That's how you make mead. It won't keep, but it's inflammatory as well. And honey is a sugar addiction. There's no difference between honey and sugar.
So Cindy's just said, I'm confused. Is this the same spice you buy at the groceries?
Yeah. There's millions of tons of it made throughout the world every year. It's consumed. India produces about 90% of the turmeric in the world. They also consume about 90% of what they produce at home, but they also add 90% to the exported turmeric. That's how much is grown in India. Damn right.
So if you've got any questions on how to make the golden paste, let us know. If there's a few questions on here about you've just made it or you're going to make it and things like that. We've been talking about maybe Doug and Sarah doing a video one day when they're making the golden paste together. So if you're interested in something like that, put a comment in, let us know. We're planning to do these once a month, but we'd like to hear, we've got it scheduled out, but we'd actually like to hear what you'd like to know, and we can base it around that. So if you've got any questions or anything you want to know, just let us know. Just trying to make sure I've got through any questions. If anybody's got any last questions, pop them in. Let's see. What else was there? So I guess one of the other questions that was on there when they said about the different products. So Doug's got what's this one? The ginger.
We've run out of them at the moment.
Don't buy them. And we've just got the power bar, which is what we classify as the original. Yep. We've got the beer bites.
I need new batch coming up.
New batch, and as we go through the new batches, you'll actually see a new branding coming through. And then you've also got the brand new Wham Bam bites that we're bringing out, which is a energy performance bar, people. Let's just call it a little bit naughty. You'll get to see it very soon. Keep an eye out. Can turmeric help dogs with kidney disease?
Yeah. Renal failure is an issue as they get older, and it's beneficial. I don't know about curing it. There's all sorts of herbal compounds that you can add to it that works fairly well, and its benefits. It depends how much and why the kidney disease is there. What else do you want to know?
Oh, that was a good question. I've just got one saying, do you think veterinarians and doctors should be educated on natural remedies like turmeric paste and not told to prescribe drugs? Or more so just a balanced view?
Well, they are actually. It depends how much notice they take. A lot of them like to be dictated to, and they have a set of agendas with the drug schedules that they've got. I've had vets tell me that there's no research data on turmeric. They haven't bothered to look, because if you Google turmeric or Google curcumin, because that's what the scientists like to research, which is the pure product, you'll find there's 13,000 cited articles. And if you narrow it down and Google melanoma and curcumin, you'll find there's, I think, about nearly 200 scientific articles, and most of those are fairly positive. So if you narrow down each case, curcumin and arthritis, you'll find there's several hundred cited articles on that. Curcumins and tendon damage, you'll also find articles on that. So it's just laziness that they haven't bothered to research it out. And what they rely on is the drug companies providing nice little brochures about their own products with pictures and all sorts of stuff that read pretty good. And it's all marketing. And then they believe that, unfortunately. You've got to think outside the box. I use the drugs that the drug companies sell, and I think most of them are fairly good. But the other thing is turmeric can replace a lot of them and it can add to them. And you can, if you're using something like meloxicam, for example, you can probably halve or quarter the dose of that and not have to give it every day, and stop the damage on your liver and kidney from it if you're over giving big doses of it. And you can supplement it with turmeric. And then when you get a bad day, you can give more meloxicam and more turmeric.
Is it true that turmeric can be used as a tooth whitener?
Yeah.
Sounds like an oxymoron.
yeah. It's widely used as a tooth. It's abrasive and it doesn't stain your teeth. And that's the fact. It's used widely in Asian countries as toothpaste.
What do they mix it with? Nothing?
Put it on a toothbrush and rub it.
Not at all.
Yep. I've done it once just to see if it was true, and it is.
Didn't want to do it the next day?
Well, it makes the sink too messy, eh? I get into bloody trouble.
So us females can do it, we just won't let the husbands do it. We have to clean up after them. Diane wants to know, can we use the golden paste topically, healing staph sores?
Yeah. It's better internally though, because you still got a coverage with your staph, a skin coverage. It doesn't penetrate skin really well, and also it's messy on your clothes. It stains your clothes. If it stains your clothes, it's pretty easy. Just hang them in the sun. But sun bleaches them back to normal.
Really?
Yep.
How
long? One session on the clothes line.
There you go. My washing skills have just gone up a notch. Sandra says, my 18-year-old daughter has had a spinal fusion approximately 18 weeks ago. Can she take turmeric paste?
Why not? Yeah.
It's good for you. Go for it.
That's it. Just watch out so you don't get pregnant.
I don't think a back will appreciate that. Ginny said, my dog takes a quarter teaspoon of turmeric paste 3 times a day. She's 9, and now I've noticed a limp. Should I increase it?
That's how big it is. Yeah, you can increase it quite easily. That's not a lot.
So Denise has said, will this help with gout?
Cutting out sugar helps more.
Get rid of the sugar, Denise. Sugar.
Uric acid. Get your diet, whole food diet. Cut your sugar down. Cut your cakes, muffins, biscuits down.
But that's the problem, is sugar's hidden in everything these days. It's very rare that you can actually eat anything at all without having like hidden sugar in it, which makes it hard.
They are gout reactive foods, but I think that you tune up your reactions by eating an inflammatory diet.
So less sugar rather than more turmeric.
You don't tune up your inflammations by having a poor diet, high sugar, and a lot of processed fats and things like that. They're not real good either. They tune your body metabolism up to be more reactive.
So Christine says, my dog has lung cancer. She has golden paste. Is it okay to give her curcumin as well?
Yeah, it depends what type of lung cancer. I think that most lung cancers respond. There's one particular one that is a little bit of a worry because they found that it is one that doesn't respond. but most of them do respond pretty well. And curcumin, added curcumin, is a very good anti-cancer compound. I'm very interested in fenbendazole and curcumin at the moment, and I'm investigating that fairly seriously for cancer.
Susan wants to know, what's the best brand of turmeric to get?
There's no brand of turmeric. It's like carrots, you buy them. The turmeric is an agricultural product. It's not a brand, and whichever packet you have with a brand on it, the turmeric in it will come from different farms each time.
So, when you're looking at an apple or an orange or something, and you usually know which one's going to taste better, is there a particular thing to look for in there?
You've only got one brand, one variety of turmeric, Curcuma longa. We've talked about the Curcuma aromatica, which is your yellow one, your temalate turmeric, that is bitter. But basically, there is only one orange turmeric variety. It's not like apples where you get different varieties of apples. Incidentally, the new apples that have been released this season are magnificent.
Get them in here.
No, it's apple season here in Australia at the moment. I've been very impressed with the new 2-3 new varieties that have come on the market now. Yeah.
Get them off the farmers market? We just go to their houses and get them off their trees.
Well, we don't grow apples here on the Gold Coast. We've got to go to Tasmania. I was just thinking today that I might have a holiday in Tasmania one day. I've always wanted to go to Tasmania and see the apple trees.
Is anybody watching from Tasmania? Doug needs a place to stay. So Susan, another Susan, there's quite a few Susans on here now. Are there disease conditions of the liver where golden paste would not be beneficial?
Beneficial for liver function. It won't never be detrimental. It's just that if you've got high level cirrhosis, it's probably nothing's going to benefit it much, even turmeric.
Donna asks, can we make the paste with coconut oil without the pepper and just add freshly ground pepper each time you consume it?
That's probably the best way, actually. I add pepper, extra pepper when I have it.
Nice work, Donna. Try it and let us know what you think. What is the recommended daily dose of golden paste for adults? At the moment, we're taking 1 heaped teaspoon with yogurt in the morning.
There's really no recommended dose. It's whatever fits. I tell people take enough, see what the effect is. You don't have to have the same dose every day. You can have half a teaspoon, 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons. If you're taking it for pain, you monitor what's happening there and take more or less. And you really need to take it at least twice a day because it gets out of your system fairly quickly. 6 to 12 hours it goes, so you should take it at least twice and probably 3 times a day with food.
Cool. Tony's asking, when will the bars be available? They're sold out.
Which ones?
I don't know.
At the moment,
I've
got beer bites and the original bars. We're running out of ginger.
Oh, somebody thinks it might be in the US distributor.
Yeah, well.
Beer bites are global, people.
I send a new naturals. They probably have run out now, and I probably haven't got enough until I get the next batch made to send any more across.
So Denise is asking, can turmeric help with seasonal hay fever allergies?
Don't really think it's that markedly effective for that. It could well be. I get a little bit of an allergy. I don't think, doesn't make it worse, but it's certain I still get it.
So Dawn's asking, my dog lost her fur scratching, been to the vet on tablets and special feed. Nothing seems to be working, been bathing him in stinky stuff, not getting any better. What is the paste and can I mix it up, please? So the golden paste, is it, you've got to put on?
Yeah, the golden paste, the recipe's there, that's very good.
Pin to the top of the page.
Basically, with itchy atopic dogs, it depends exactly what the conditions are. Some of them have things like hypothyroid and stuff like that, but if you've got a normal dog and it's just atopic, atopic means the skin function as a barrier is not effective and it allows contact with allergens, bacterial contamination, yeasts and funguses and stuff like that. And one of the best things I've ever found is to use the protective shampoos like Malaseb and Sebazole that you massage into the dog and get rid of the load of bacteria on the skin. And most of those have a dilution that you should use of 1 part shampoo to 50 parts warm water. And you actually measure that into a jug of warm water and use one of those little massage sponges that you get out of that. Rub all the areas, spend about 10 minutes washing the dog and doing a massage sponge bath. Rinse them down pretty well. Then your final rinse, put a little bit of vinegar in the rinse, like a cupful to a bucket, and rinse over and dry pretty well. And probably should use a hairdryer to dry, and then the skin should be good for a day or half a day or 2 days. And your period of washing, if it comes back itchy in 2 days, then you've got to wash every 2 days. And what I find is as the bacterial load goes down, you can extend that period and you get 4 or 5 days between baths. One of the best things recently that's come on the market is a compound called Cytopoint, which is an antibody that targets the particular itch cytokine in dogs, and it works really, really good. They say it lasts a month, but I'm finding that I'm getting 8 to 10 weeks out of an injection. It's not a drug as such, it's an antibody. The only issue that you might have with side reactions is potentially anaphylaxis, but that has never occurred. The side effects otherwise are negligible. I like it. I really do like it if you've got an itchy dog, and I've just seen it change their lives completely.
I like good stories. So Sandy in Canada, hi Sandy, is asking whether this will be taped and available for later. Yes, so this is Facebook Live. At the end of this, it will be saved into the video section on the Turmeric users group, and we'll also save it over into the Turmeric Life page under the videos as well. So if anybody wants to watch it back at any point, it'll be there. We're also going to put it on turmericlife.com.au's website for at the end of the videos as well. Amy's asking how long until you start feeling the effects of consuming your delicious turmeric bath?
Depends. You should, as soon as you start to absorb it within a half an hour, it should be into your metabolism and affecting your stuff like appetite, your serotonin levels, your happiness levels, your energy levels. They should go up straight away. Anecdotally on myself, I try it out all the time, and I think it works pretty quickly. For arthritis and other issues, it might have an increasing effect over 6 weeks or something like that. But generally, after about a week, you're much more mobile and active. The good thing about it is that I didn't mention before, it does increase serotonin levels, which is your antidepressant hormone, your happiness hormone. It works really well for that. And you need to watch if you are on antidepressants, because you might have too much serotonin in your system if you have both. And so you need to reduce your dose of your antidepressants.
I think for me personally, I think it took about 2 weeks, and I noticed a dramatic impact in just you can't explain just that feeling better.
It's pretty hard because it's subtle. What most people figure out how it works is when they stop or run out, all of a sudden it hits them that they're not feeling as good as they used to while they're on it. Because when you're feeling good, you don't realise why, because it creeps up on you. Yeah, exactly.
And you run out of the bars, and then you go, what's going on? I'm sad.
Yeah, well, you should be making golden paste because that's the easiest and cheapest. But anyway, bars are there if you don't want to make golden paste.
Doug doesn't want to retire at all ever, so don't ever buy the bars. Do you?
I'm never going to retire. I'm going to die working.
Eating place. So Brian says, I bought turmeric from a good, dependable supplier. However, when cooked, it took an hour to thicken and the paste was creamy. I'm not sure if it was true turmeric. What do you think?
Don't know. No, it's hard to tell, Brian. I don't know. It depends it does vary quite a bit because it's an agricultural product. There may or may not have been fillers in it. I don't know. You've got to compare it with other turmeric that you've used and the effect.
Oh, this one's going to be embarrassing. Righto. Kizit says, I have suspected ankylosing spondylitis. Can you see that one?
Ankylosing spondylitis.
There you go.
Ankylosing spondylitis, yeah.
Tragic. And she's been on loads of meds with no success. Ankles have been swollen for about 8 years. The question is the inflammation being there for so long, will the golden paste help?
Well, won't do any harm, and it's worth trying. Try it and let us know.
Yeah, let's know how to go.
I've had anecdotal feedback very positive on that sort of stuff, and it has an additive effect to your non-steroidal anti-inflammatory as well. Depends which ones you're on. They're all a little bit different. But as far as the good anti-inflammatory non-steroidal drugs have been withdrawn now because they affect the heart. And a lot of people are a little bit annoyed about that because things like meloxicam and what's the other one that was withdrawn? People relied on that. But now they're going back to the second generation ones, the meclophenamic acid and aspirins and things like that, which are a bit harder on the gut. But turmeric will work with all non-steroidal anti-inflammatories. It works with cortisone as well. Now, I don't really like cortisone for arthritis because it actually it increases the damage later on. It has an instant effect, but it increases the damage further down the track.
Good.
So I answer that.
Yep. So Denise from Texas, welcome from Texas, is saying that when we were asking about how long it took to kick in, she said it helped with her aches and pains within 40 minutes.
Yeah, it does.
It's pretty good. She loves the golden paste and the bars. So Susan's saying, I'm still confused where to get the turmeric or the golden paste. It may be sold everywhere, but which one's a good supplier? I think, the golden paste...
It really depends where you are, eh? This is in the international, you've got to figure out which the shop down the road. If that's not good, you've got to go a bit further into a bigger city.
So it's not like one of those things where they're going to have a lot of additives and preservatives or anything. They're literally going to sell you turmeric.
It should have no additives. It should just be pure turmeric powder.
So basically, when you go to your shop, just look for pure turmeric powder and make sure that all the ingredients that are going into the pure form, and make sure there's nothing else added into them. And if that's still just confusing, that's why Doug created the bars. Is so that you can just eat them and don't have to worry about it. And that's to be honest, why I do it, because I literally made a batch one day and it was horrific and I couldn't digest it. And these things are lovely. I love the spiciness.
There's a little bit of added curcumin in the bars as well as turmeric as well to make sure it's got a high level of curcumin, and that's fairly effective.
Sure. And Nancy's saying, hi, what is your opinion on using GP with the CHOP protocol with cats with lymphoma?
Yeah, it'll work. I think we've got to have a real close look at this fenbendazole for lymphoma as well. And I'm designing a trial at the moment. The CHOP protocol on cats does knock them around a fair bit. Actually, in half the ones I've had on it, they decide that they don't finish it because the cats get too sick and don't eat. But if the cat's accepting your program, that's really, really good. You need to talk to the oncologist as well. But for most of those compounds in it, it actually increases the apoptosis and the cell death. It's really good post-radiation as well. It increases the rate of healing, and it increases the cell destruction by apoptosis of the cancer cells.
So Amy's asking, do you think this will help my dog's itchy ears in keeping he keeps getting yeast infection? So from what you're saying, yes. Earlier, yes, right?
Yeah, but the yeast infections in ears are associated with the anatomy. The canals keep blocking up. You've got all the detritus in there that gets bugs that are floating around in the atmosphere and consistently get infected. You've got to keep them fairly clean. The shape of some of these dogs' ears is atrocious, and they respond really well to a canal. A lateral ear resection where you surgically remove the top half of the canal and open it out so they drain and don't build up the detritus. But it can help, that's for sure. But you need to watch very closely what's in the ear. Most of these canals are fairly small, big floppy ears, they seal over, and the ear hole is closed up, which is not good. So that's anatomical.
we've got through all the questions.
Have we?
We have. It's interesting. We've got people from Canada, North Carolina, Texas, everywhere all over the world is joining in.
What time is it in Texas at the moment? It'd be in the morning, wouldn't it?
She said she was leaving for work at 6:41 a.m. So you've got 6:40.
7 o'clock? Nearly 7 o'clock in the morning in Texas, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, gee, okay.
All right.
8 o'clock in Australia mightn't be a good time, actually.
Rachel's just
For
saying.
American.
Rachel's just saying, can I take occasional aspirin when taking the to-go bars?
Yeah.
And vitamin C and general vitamins?
Yeah, that's fine.
Cindy says it's 5:51 in Missouri. So there we go. Welcome, everybody.
5:51
a.m. in Missouri.
Wow, nearly 6 o'clock. So
Welcome to a glorious morning.
it's a bit too early for most people, isn't it? I guess over there it's summer, isn't it? Although it's autumn here, so it's going to be...
well, as close as we get to winter.
Yeah.
I think it was 18 degrees in the lake. That's a cold for us. Alrighty, so I think that's everybody's questions. Anything else you wanted to add in?
No, we'll get better once we get used to this sort of stuff. We'll have a script next time, perhaps.
So we were thinking we were going to, I'm going to put a poll up in the next week with a few ideas for the next one and the following weeks. And basically we're going to let you dictate which order we do them in. So we were thinking, turmeric and cancer, turmeric and heart disease, all those kind of things, or just turmeric uses. So, if you've got an idea, pop it in the comments box as well. We're doing these things for you, so your interactions would be fantastic.
We'll probably choose a better time for the Americans. If it's going to be 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, it's probably not really good. We probably should look at what would be the ideal time. Probably 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the evening, wouldn't it? What time would that be here?
Yeah, but if you look at all the three, if you look at UK, US, and Australia.
Yeah.
That's why the beautiful part of the Facebook Live is it gets saved on, and anybody can watch it whenever they've got the time.
Yeah, okay, we can't answer questions, but basically all those questions that have been asked have been answered numerous times in the TUG group, time and time again, but we don't mind that because...
everybody's at different stages of the journey.
Yeah, that's it. People come in. We're pretty tolerant. We've got a pretty sharp sense of humour. I've got to sort of curb myself a little bit because if people don't know me, they might think I'm a little bit abrupt, but...
I think the other thing is if there's anybody that's watching it now or will be watching it in the future and you've got an amazing turmeric story, we're trying to create a database of amazing stories so we can kind of help other people understand the application and the true life stories rather than us, from a marketing perspective, to say buy our product. We kind of want to share the knowledge. So it's your stories that are going to help us do that. So if anybody's interested in helping us out with those stories and you've got a great story, just send us a message. Private messages on Turmeric Life, and we'd love to have a conversation with you.
Yeah, well, I've got a plan to go across to America. It was going to be last year, it is going to be this year, but I just need to have enough money to be able to do it, which is a little bit of a problem at the moment, but perhaps later in the year we'll have to see if we can organise that.
Sorry, just one last question. It's come up twice, but I missed it the first time. Does cooking with turmeric in stews deplete the nutritional value?
No, that's what golden paste is. It's wonderful to cook with it. It's actually a very stable compound. It's an antioxidant polyphenol, very stable. If you have a look at stuff like tomatoes, the lycopene polyphenol in tomatoes isn't absorbed unless you cook it. And it doesn't break down. We're only talking boiling water. Boiling water is the best way to cook. If you bake things at high temperatures, like 200 degrees C, that's when you get the decomposition. Boiling's good, baking's not.
Good. So we're going to do some turmeric cooking tips with Sarah Jane at some point as well, because she's an amazing cook and Doug's got the knowledge and she's got the skills. So we're going to come up and help with some recipes and different ways we can use turmeric in our day-to-day life. So as I said, put lots of comments in, get in contact with us, and a few people have asked where to get the product. On the Turmeric Users Group, top right-hand corner, it'll take you to the Turmeric Life shop. If not, it's turmericlife.com.au. And if any more questions, just pop them in and we'll get to you whenever we can. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next month. Say ciao, Bella.
Okay, bye, fellas. We did 55 minutes.